Good afternoon, Bay Nation. Welcome to another episode of Fantasy Bay. I'm your host, Mike Williams, and today we're going to be going over the waiver wire for Week 16. If you're watching this, you're most likely in the second round of the playoffs. Brava, brava. Good job. You did it. Now it's time to get you to that next round. Starting off with the quarterback position. It's a little thin, but we're going to see what we can do. Tyler Huntley looked pretty good last game. Quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens. The thing about him is his situation is kind of up in the air. If Lamar Jackson plays, obviously he's irrelevant. But if he doesn't play, I do think that he's a solid add. He did work against Green Bay, 4 touchdowns. He was also using his legs. I definitely think that he is worth a grab if you're desperate at quarterback. But keep in mind, Lamar Jackson makes it. Moving on to Justin Fields. Justin Fields is a meh ad. I think that he's going to get it done with his legs, but can he get it done with his arm? He's not throwing a lot of touchdowns, so I'm less confident about him, to be honest with you. Not a great week for quarterbacks. Moving on to the wide receiver position, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I've been telling you to pick this kid up for weeks. Hopefully you did already, because you're going to have to be fighting for him on the waiver wire. His last 3 weeks, 12, 12, 11. That's how many targets he's got in the game. This is what you're looking for from a wide receiver. You want as many targets as possible, and you're not getting much more than 12. And he had a touchdown last week, man. I definitely think that this kid is going to help win people some leagues. Moving on to Gabriel Davis, wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills. If Emmanuel Sanders stays out, I think that his production stays high, but even if Emmanuel Sanders comes back, I don't know if you're putting the genie back in the bottle. He's had touchdowns in each of the last 3 weeks, and 2 last week. I definitely think he's worth an ad, and I think he's going to be a viable start moving forward. Next up, we have Marquez Valdes-Scantling. He's a wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers. This was a great matchup for him, which is why he had like 20 fantasy points. But he's a little up in the air with how much you can trust him on a week-to-week basis. He does have a very low floor. Moving on, Tyler Johnson, wide receiver for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. With Chris Godwin going down and Mike Evans possibly missing this week as well, they need someone to throw it to. And I think Tyler Johnson's going to be that guy. Also, keep an eye out for Antonio Brown. Some people may have dropped him in your league. I definitely think that he is worth an ad if he's out there for sure, because he's going to be coming back from suspension. The Bucs don't have many options at the moment. They may really need him. Moving on to the running back position. This is where it gets good. Well, bad, I guess, for the Bucs. Leonard Fournette went down with an injury. He's looking like he's going to be week to week, but there's a chance he misses this week and maybe next week. And if that's the case, Ronald Jones is the man that you want to have. He's definitely going to be taking over the #1 role as the running back on the Bucs, and that's a viable role. He's going to be the top runner, and he's possibly going to catch a few balls. I definitely think that he is the best ad this week, not just amongst running backs, but all players. I definitely think that Ronald Jones is going to be incredible given the role. Moving on, Craig Reynolds, running back for the Detroit Lions. If Jamal Williams doesn't come back, I think the Craig Reynolds role stays high, but if he does, he's probably going to be splitting it with Jamal Williams. That being said, last week he had 26 carries. This guy's definitely involved, and I think that he's worth a grab. These next 4 are all due to injury, so their situation can really fluctuate. I have been telling everyone for weeks, get your backup running back. It will save you during waivers. If you did, then you're good right now. If you didn't, you're going to be fighting on the waiver wire just like everybody else is. So I hope that these guys are already on your roster, but here we go, just in case you missed them. Samaje Perine, backup running back for Joe Mixon on the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Mixon suffered an ankle injury. It's still up in the air whether or not he's going to play, but if he misses, Samaje Perine's going to get a lot of work. Running back Justin Jackson for the Los Angeles Chargers. If Austin Eckler misses time, he's going to step up and get most of the work. I don't think he's going to be getting all the work, but I do think a lot of the work will go to him. Jeff Wilson's a solid ad. Running back for the San Francisco 49ers. He got some work last week with Elijah Mitchell out. If Elijah Mitchell misses again, I definitely think Jeff Wilson is going to be a solid ad. And last but not least, we have Duke Johnson for the Miami Dolphins. He had 22 carries, 107 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That was absolutely incredible. No one expected that. Well, almost nobody. I feel like I remember Jason from the Fantasy Footballer saying something about that, but this guy's a prophet. Anyways, I'm less confident in him this week though. Going against New Orleans, that's a tough run defense. If he plays well against them though, hopefully he's on your team when it happens, so that you can feel confident starting him up in that championship round. Moving on to tight ends, honestly, I'm not excited about any of these tight ends, like at all. There's not really anybody out there. Ricky Seals-Jones is not, he's meh. Cole Kmet, he'll get a few targets. I'm not really confident he'll get any touchdowns. If you're looking at tight ends this week, it's slim pickings. Gerald Everett might get a little bit of work with Tyler Lockett out, maybe. Moving on to the defenses. The Eagles are my #1 pickup this week for defenses, going against the New York Giants. No Daniel Jones. Ugh. Yeah, this is going to be rough for the Giants to end off the year. I definitely think the Eagles are going to be a fantastic play. Next up, we have the Chargers versus Houston. The Chargers are probably going to be without Bosa, but I do think that they can still get it done. Houston is meh. That being said, Brandon Cooks did work last week. And last but not least, we have the Seattle Seahawks versus the Chicago Bears. The Bears, the Bears, the Bears, the Bears, the Bears. The Bears just aren't a great offense right now. I think Seattle should be able to keep them in check. So that's going to do it for this Waiver Wire episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell down below. If you have any questions, hit me up. Good luck on the Waiver Wire this week. Peace.